In the world of One Piece, the four emperors are some of the most feared and powerful pirates in existence. Each of the emperors has their own distinct territory, which they rule with an iron fist and protect from any and all intruders. We already know some of the Yonko territories like Big Mom's Total Land, Blackbeard partying at Fullaled, and Kaido guarding Wano. But what about Shanks? Well, today I, Yuen, will talk about why Elbaf, the Island of Giants, belongs to Shanks and the red-haired pirates. For those who need a refresher, Elbaf is the name of the Island of Giants, located somewhere in the New World. It is considered one of the oldest and most significant locations in the story, with a rich history and culture that has been hinted at throughout the series. The Giants of Elbaf are known for their impressive strength and combat prowess, as well as their honorable code of conduct in battle. The island is home to a number of famous giants, such as Dory and Brogy, who are the captains of the giant warrior pirates, Oimo and Kashi, who helped Luffy and the crew during Enies Lobby, and last but not least, Hyrudin, who is now part of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Elbaf is also significant in the story for its connection to various characters and events. For example, the Emperor Big Mom was abandoned on Elbaf as a child, and thus has ties to the giant race, although the giants hate her for reasons I won't go into this video. We've also seen Usopp express a desire to go to Elbaf so he can further his dream of becoming a brave warrior of the sea. But getting back to Shanks. Though until recently Shanks didn't really have a strong connection to Elbaf, it was just theorized Elbaf is his territory based on his ship, the Red Forces design, which looks like a Norse Viking ship, and because Shanks might have a resemblance to a famous Viking named Eric the Red, Eric being called that due to the color of his hair and beard. You can see why people could link Shanks to Elbaf. However, spoiler alert, skip to the time on screen if you don't want to get spoiled. In chapter 1076, we finally get an in-canon connection between Shanks and Elbaf. In a tavern on Elbaf, mirroring Luffy's flashback, a child giant begs Shanks to join his crew, just like how Luffy did back in East Blue. Then we have Shanks saying he'll protect Elbaf from the Kid Pirates, who are coming to Elbaf, along with Dory and Brogy, who act friendly towards Shanks. In chapter 1079, we also see other members of the red-haired Grand Fleet, who have gathered on the coast of Elbaf, meaning either Elbaf is Shanks' territory, which is a safe bet, or they are allies and the giants deeply respect Shanks to allow his whole army to just set anchor on the coast of Elbaf. Now I've explained why Shanks is connected to Elbaf, but the questions are how and why. Don't get me wrong, Shanks is probably one of the strongest One Piece characters currently alive. You can check our top 30 video to see where he ranks. But the giants are no slouches. We know they have no connection to the world government and have their own army of giants that protect them from external threat. We know the world government seems reluctant to face them, and several scientists like Dr. Vegapunk and Caesar Clown have attempted to create giants scientifically as part of a new weapons program. Even Big Mom herself claimed that had her daughter Lola married Elbaf's Prince Loki, she would have been Pirate King by now. That's how much people value Elbaf's warriors. Now, there are countless theories surrounding both Shanks and Elbaf. One of them was how Shanks was born on Elbaf, but there is nothing other than his Viking team supporting this, and we know he was raised in the West Blue, as that's what he said when he met Whitebeard back in Pre-Time Skip. It's quite unlikely there are actual humans on Elbaf, as we didn't see any humans other than the sheep house children during Linley's flashback, but it is a possibility. We just have to actually see how the people of Elbaf look once we go there. Now, to get into the theory of how Shanks really became the protector of Elbaf, as it doesn't seem likely they need a protector, but maybe they do, we don't know. But before that, we need to look at another Yonko, and that is Big Mom herself. During Whole Cake Island, when Big Mom was talking to a captured Luffy, she mentions how her daughter Lola was supposed to marry Prince Loki, who seems to be a royal figure in Elbaf. This means that Elbaf's royalty is based around Norse mythology, as Loki is a Norse god linked with trickery and shapeshifting. Loki is also often portrayed in media as Thor's brother or stepbrother, and Odin as Loki and Thor's father. So if we know Odin is the king of Elbaf, we can check Odin's family tree and see what other children he'd have. Well, in myth, Odin had quite a lot of sons, but what I'm most interested is his daughters. It is said that the Valkyries are something like Odin's daughters, but for our theory we only need one name, and it doesn't really matter which. Oda can come up with a fictional name, it doesn't matter. However, for the video, we'll just refer to one of Odin's daughters as Hild, who is a famous Valkyrie in mythology. So, what I'm trying to get at is, Odin's daughter, Hild, married someone from the red-haired pirates. Who could it be? Could it be Shanks? Well, in the 500 Million Men arc cover story, we see the red-haired pirates in an undisclosed location. The first page shows a few of the red-haired pirates in an area with a lot of cacti, those being Yazop, Building Snake, Gab, and Bonk Punch. Yazop is reading a newspaper with Luffy's then new bounty of 500 million belly. On the next page, in a different locations, we have Shanks reading the same newspaper, and around him we see Beckman and Rockstar. From the background, we see a white chapel with a cross, white doves flying in the air, and people looking in a direction. But they aren't looking at Shanks, they're looking at something else behind him. However, it's obscured and we can't really see it. What's most interesting is who's missing from the cover pages. There are actually two big names from the red-haired pirates missing, one of them being Lime Juice and the other Lucky Roo. Yes, what I'm getting at is Lucky Roo married Hild, and Shanks formed a marriage alliance with Odin. Now, why not Lime Juice? Well, he could technically be the one married, but I feel Roo fits more as he's one of Shanks' top 3, so the alliance would have been even stronger because of that. But it could technically still be Lime Juice. More proof about why it would be one of the two getting married instead of the others is none of the red-haired pirates shown are dressed as a groom. Whole Cake Island, we see Sanji getting dressed in white for his marriage, and usually grooms dress quite nicely, like in a suit. However, every other red-haired pirate has their casual drip on, so it's none of the ones shown. We also know it's a wedding as it happens near a chapel, the people look happy, and we see white doves flying in the air, and that usually happens when someone gets married, they release white doves in the air. Due to the alliance between Shanks and Elbaf, he now has access to the army of giants, though knowing him he probably wouldn't use them for nefarious deeds, unless the Shanks' evil theory comes into fruition. Also, if theories about the location of the fourth missing road poneglyph are correct, it's somewhere on Elbaf, so obviously Shanks would have access to that. That would also play well, as I believe we'll see the Straw Hat Pirates go to Elbaf in the future to collect the fourth road poneglyph and most likely help the royal family with some royal family matters, just like they did in Fishman Island, in Wano, in Dressrosa. It's happened multiple times. Of course, since giants live 4 times as long as humans and are outside the world government's jurisdiction, they probably remember tales and what the world was like before the Void Century, or during the Void Century. And that was passed on from their grandfathers and great-grandfathers. We might even get Blackbeard in the mix, him going to Elbaf for the last road poneglyph, only to be stopped by Shanks so we can finally see the long-awaited Shanks vs Blackbeard fight, where Blackbeard might kill Shanks? That would be interesting. But in conclusion, Shanks did what Big Mom couldn't. He formed a marriage alliance with the royal family of Elbaf. Lucky Roo got married, Shanks controls Elbaf, and has knowledge of the final poneglyph. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the theory, leave a like, leave a comment. I'll catch you all later. Peace.